Hey guys, I am DC, your host of Barside Jive Live. It is so awesome that you chose to hang out here with us this evening for this show at the very cool Vocal Media Studios in North Dallas, Texas. This show features some of the very best musical talent in the United States of America. By the way, you can now download my shows on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, you name it. It's there. If you are listening to this episode as a podcast, you can watch it right now by going to vocalnow.com, and vocal is misspelled with a K. So VOKAL now.com, and click on the Barside Jive image at the top of your app or at the top of your browser, and you'll get beamed right into the show. Okay. Or at any time, you can watch any of my content on demand by my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Barside Jive Live. That's the place to go. Barside Jive is sponsored by
The Zoo.
On Vocal.
The Zoo is the world's best rocked and can be streamed 24/7, 365 at vocalnow.com. Remember, Zoo Freaks get classic rock, deep cuts, B-sides, last tracks, stuff you're never going to hear on the FM stations. Plus, the big thing here is you can avoid all those long-ass 7 to 8 minute back-to-back commercials, which we all hate. Yeah! Now, be sure to check my merch. I've got tees and hoodies available at bradjensenart.com. That's right, the legendary artist Brad Jensen makes all my merch. Brad, Jensen art.com. When you get there, just click on DC's gear and purchase away. All right, guys.
Yay! Biology.
Coming up next, we've got my guest of the day. He would be Bradley Banning. I've always known who I was as an artist. It just took me a little while to accept it. Bradley Banning said that in response to his top 20 Texas radio hit, Don't Mess with Texas. And if you haven't heard it, you're missing out. Born just outside Fort Worth, Texas, Bradley grew up mowing lawns and writing songs. He says, "My dad owned a landscaping company growing up, but he wrote songs when he got home at night." His dad's dedication to his family and songwriting taught Bradley to never quit on something you love, whether it's your family, your friends, music, etc. It's taken a lot of work and grace, Bradley says, to get to the point where he can release his own music as an artist. For years, he held jobs as a creative director, promotion coordinator, server, car salesman, landscaper, just any job that paid the bills and allowed him to continue to write songs. "I wrote songs every chance I got, but I was afraid to take the leap and pursue music full-time as an artist. I just didn't want to break my bank," he laughs. However, in 2014, after ASCAP named him one of their GPS Top 12 unsigned songwriters, he lost his job as a creative director, and at the same time, got a call from his girlfriend that they were done. "I thought I was going to marry that girl," he says. "It was bad timing, I thought, but God had his attention." That's when he took all the money he had saved for an engagement ring and bought studio equipment and started recording his own songs. 2 years later, on February 13th, 2017, Bradley released his first single, Don't Mess with Texas, that he co-produced with that engagement ring money and studio equipment. Don't Mess with Texas was one of the few debut singles from any artist that broke top 20 on the Texas charts in 2017 and ended up receiving major airplay on the country music format's largest station, KPLX 99.5 The Wolf in Dallas, Texas. His second single, More, was released to Texas radio in April of 2018 and became his second top 40 single. On November 22nd, 2019, Bradley released his EP, Songwriter, featuring 4 songs, including Don't Mess with Texas and More. The collection of songs also includes 2 new songs, Savannah and Room 252. Bradley said, "These 4 songs best tell the story of my life as a songwriter over the last 5 years. They're some of the most personal songs I have written, and I wanted them to all be heard together on Songwriter." So welcome, Bradley, to Barside Jive Live,
Thank you,
man.
sir.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. How's life?
Good. Yeah.
Good?
It's good. Yeah.
Really good? Right.
Can't complain, man. I'm making music, playing music for a living. So,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
as
That's your full-time gig, right?
That's my full-time gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just writing and playing.
Dream come true. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of people talk about it, but
Yeah.
don't get to have that experience that you are.
Yeah, it's easy to talk yourself out of it.
Yeah. What's scary?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So tell me, tell me what's going on.
Working on new music. I released a Songwriter in November and just had to get those out. It's a scary process, just putting out music, and it feels like putting yourself out there, and I don't know why there is that fear, but I think it's a fear of failure and, the unknown. But, I am working on new music, put some new stuff out in March, may have some more pieces from Songwriter coming out in February, but
Oh, good.
But yeah, I'm enjoying writing songs and enjoying the craft and booking new shows for this fair and festival season, and
Yeah.
just moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff on the schedule, I guess.
Yeah.
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 Writing something down every week.
Trying
Probably.
to.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, your dad has been a pretty big inspiration in your life, probably all the way around.
Yeah.
But in songwriting as well. So is he still writing?
He is. He just actually had a song on one of Cody Jinks, who's a Texas artist, one of his new records.
Really?
It was a song called Think Like You Think, and he debuted 2 albums at a time, which was kind of new. Cody did, and they were both at the top of the Billboard charts for weeks. And so my dad had a song on Think Like You Think on one of those albums that was at the top of Billboard for a couple weeks. So he's doing well, and he's excited, and he's writing more, and he's got a couple songs on the Texas charts right now, and of course he's had gold record before, and cuts out of Nashville and Texas, and
Right.
So he's kind of a hot commodity right now as far
Good.
as songwriters go in Texas. He's writing with a bunch of people, and so he's
Good.
He's enjoying it, having a good time doing that.
Have you ever performed a song that he wrote?
Oh yeah.
Have you?
We write together, and actually my first single, "Don't Mess with Texas," we wrote together, and
Oh, okay.
so that was cool. And
Yeah.
I've thought about just cutting a record where I just record just songs he's written, but
Yeah.
who knows, But
That would be fun.
Yeah, we do write a lot together, and and I've recorded some songs he's written.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be cool to get to work, on that level with your father.
Yeah.
And I would think that, you both writing songs, what would be really cool is, you both writing songs about your life growing up in that home,
Yeah.
And stuff that happened. And that would really it'd be a cool album.
Yeah, I've got one I'll play today then.
Okay, cool.
Called David's Son. His name's David Banning. And
okay.
I wrote a song called David's Son.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. Yeah, love to hear it. Well, what do you say before we get too far down the road, we just go ahead and play one?
Okay.
You ready?
Sounds good to me.
You're always ready, aren't you?
I mean, we're talking about my dad, so we might as well just play that song.
Play
right
that
now,
one? Okay, cool. Sounds good to me. Now, this song, did you co-write it with your dad or what?
I didn't. I had this song, this idea for a couple years, and I didn't know how to write it. And I was out on my first radio tour, and I came home that night at like 2 a.m. and I'd just been out visiting radio stations for the last few days, and came in. I was like ready to go to sleep, and this idea came back and it hit me. I was like, I know how to write it now. Great. So so just stayed up and wrote it. I wrote this one by myself, but yeah.
Wow.
It's called David's Son. I was the idea was my dad's name is David.
Right.
And like I said earlier, he had a landscaping business for years and still owns it, but he that's how he paid the bills and that's how he kept us fed and helped us to he built a life for us in order to pursue our dreams and the things that they thought God called us to. And so he wrote songs every night when he was done working. And he's a great songwriter, probably the best songwriter I know. And I was living in Nashville and going back and forth to make that 12-hour drive between Nashville and Texas a lot. And
right.
so on my way back to Nashville one night, and after I lost my girlfriend, the bio kind of stuff you read earlier,
right?
I had lost my job and the girlfriend. I was like, "Who am I?"
Right.
And I was following a car with a Nashville plate, and Nashville's in Davidson County.
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Oh wow, I'm David's son," and I spent 12 years there, and just kind of hit me one night. That night, I was, I had turned on the radio, and there was this preacher on the radio talking, and I was like, yeah, I felt, it's kind of like God was like asking me, like who are the best songwriters of all time, and so I started listing off like my favorite songwriters, like Alan Shamblin, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe Bob Dylan, maybe it's John Lennon. Who is it? I have no idea. Skip Ewing. And he's like, no, think about it. And, the Psalms and the Bible are,
right.
read everywhere every day. And,
right.
They're actually probably the most published songs ever because
right.
the Bible is one of the most, if not the most published book ever. And,
right.
And the Psalms and the songs in the Bible, Song of Solomon, were all written by David and David's son Solomon. And
absolutely.
I was like, that's kind of a cool angle. And
it
so
is.
I got home that night
wow.
and it all just kind of hit me on how to write it. And I was like, oh, man. And so it's kind of a cool song. It's just called David's Son. It's about my life and about my dad. And so it's kind of a song I wrote for him.
Right. Okay. Can't wait to hear it.
Daddy has a Bible name. It isn't Peter, Paul, or James. I'm David's son. Pleased to meet you, I'm David's son. He provided for our family, mowing lawns. Spent his nights writing country songs. I'm David's son. Pleased to meet you, I'm David's son. I look like him. I sound like him, I write songs like him, and I'm tough like him, and no matter where I go or who I become, I'll always be David's son. I moved to Nashville at 18. The county sign was white and green. It said David's son. The county was David's son. I poured out my heart for 10 hard years, stringing songs and playing for beer in David's son. I paid my dues in David's son. I look like him, I sound like him, I write songs like him, and I'm tough like him, and no matter where I go or who I become, I'll always be David's son. I about had a wreck driving one night when a preacher came on, and I realized that most songs in the Bible have been written and sung by David and David's son. So I write my songs the best I can, and if you like 'em, put $1 in my tip jar, man. I'm David's son. And thanks again, I'm David's son. I look like him, I sound like him, I write songs like him, and I'm tough like him, and no matter where I go or who I become, I'll always be David's son. David's son. I'm proud to be David's son.
Wow.
Thank you.
Gosh. I guess your dad's a special kind of guy, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
He taught me how to write as well, so
Yeah.
it's
So
full circle.
So at what age were you when you first realized that, or maybe they recognized in you that you had this music thing going on?
I was 4 when I realized I wanted to. I remember
Wow.
it to a degree.
Really?
But I mean, I remember.
Dude, I don't remember what I was doing when I was 18.
Really,
I don't
I
know.
have a bunch of memories from 3, 4. Like,
Do you really?
Yeah. I don't know why, but I remember around 4 years old was one. I'm told that I wanted to do that. There was a memory. Basically, I was at the doctor's office for my yearly checkup, and the doctor was like, "So what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I knew my dad had a landscaping business. I remember him coming home. I met Garth one day when he came home from landscaping, and I remember him coming home and taking a shower, changing, and then taking me up to the radio station to meet Garth Brooks.
Wow.
And so I remember it was all around that time, and so I knew he had a landscaping business. I knew he mowed lawns, but I knew, I guess maybe I could just tell he loved writing songs.
Mm-hmm.
He's a passionate songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
He loves the craft of songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And it was never about fame or money. It was always about he loved songs. And so I remember I recognized that, and so when I saw him as a songwriter, and I went into that doctor's appointment, and the doctor's like, "So what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I was like, "I want to be a songwriter like my dad."
Mm-hmm.
And they go, "No, like a real job, like a fireman, a policeman, or something." And I was like, "I'm going to be a songwriter like
real
my dad,"
job, yeah.
And I think that's half the struggle is like,
Yeah.
of pursuing the arts, the craft of songwriting or music, whatever your art is, but it's always that get a real job kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of a funny thing, but yeah, I remember at 4 years old.
Wow.
They tell me that story, and I kind of remember that, but I remember again, I was probably 13. And I was out at Billy Bob's Texas in Fort Worth with my dad and a buddy of his, Chris Cagle, had just got a record deal and was playing a show out there, and he played Drift Away by Dobie Gray.
Oh, yeah?
And I ended up being around the guy who wrote that, Mentor Williams. I ended up being around him kind of in a roundabout way because of some friends who were really good friends with him. And that song was always there in my childhood. And I loved that song so much. And I remember seeing Chris perform it at Billy Bob's on stage and going, I want to do that.
Right.
That's what I want to do. And, and of course, growing up, I always looked up to Garth Brooks and pretend I was Garth Brooks,
Right.
So it was just kind of always there. And I moved to Nashville when I was 18, and then you get up there and you hear the word no, and then you realize everybody else is good, and then you're like, oh man, I'm gonna have to be broke, and then you kind of get nervous about it,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So 4 years old, I remember that was probably the starting point of that dream.
If that doctor, I guess he's probably still around, but if he could see you now,
yeah,
you got to go back to him and say, hey.
Yeah, here I am doing it.
I wasn't just kidding. I wasn't kidding either.
I wasn't joking. Yeah, there were years though where I thought I might not do it because fear might get the best of me, But
fear is ugly.
It really
right?
is, man. No
I think
joke.
it's a freaking sin.
Yeah, it is. It actually is. I guess if you're afraid of everything, then you're not trusting God. So therefore it is a sin.
Right. Can't have a whole lot of faith. And
exactly.
I mean, we all.
Oh yeah.
From time to time, things surprise us. But that's awesome. How do you deal with fear yourself personally?
Man, that's a funny question. I learning every day. It's I think, if I'm being honest, I released a single. I moved back down here to Texas in 2016, in August of 2016, ended up releasing the first single in February of 2017. And then that song had Don't Mess with Texas. It had a 1.5-year lifespan, which was kind of unheard of. I released it in October of 2016. It didn't go to radio till February 2017. It hit top 20 at on the charts in July of 2017, and then it kind of died. And then 3 months later, 99.5 The Wolf in Dallas came back and said, hey, this song's testing really, really well.
Wow.
We're going to play it for you. And they played it for about 6 months, 14 times a week. So that kind of got everything rolling in Dallas Fort Worth for me. And it just continued, you know. And then so that happened. And then I was like, okay, I had all this. I got to follow this up. And I'm like, man, like, how do I do that? You know, and then that fear comes in, and you've just had success and like kind of affirmation, hey, keep going, do this.
Right.
But then you just kind of get afraid. And so I guess I'm learning every day to deal with it and to just keep being vulnerable and putting myself out there, you know, because I mean, if I'm supposed to do this music thing and keep doing it, I'm not going to know unless I do it, you know?
Right.
Just keep chasing it, keep moving forward the next day. I guess that's it, is just being thankful for what you got and waking up every day and, you know, doing your best.
You know, I guess really life is just a series of tests.
Yeah.
One after the other.
Yeah.
And I guess we are expected to, you know, handle them appropriately, you know, handle the test. And I guess you know, God's just always watching to see how we come through. And I guess, you know, I guess it's all about being blessed based upon your faithfulness and how you handle those tests, right?
Yeah. I think we're all given that grace and that blessing, and, you know, the fruit from it that we see, the abundance of the fruit, all the good things we see going on is kind of, you know, is the result of, okay, how do we receive this grace and this blessing and the faith that he wants to give us, you know?
Right.
And so I think the more we're open to like receiving it and actually being vulnerable and trusting that he wants good things for us, I think the more we see it in our life. But I think that blessing is already there just out of goodness of his heart, you know, and God being love. But yeah. Yeah.
It's the trusting part.
It's the trusting part that's hard. Yeah.
Right. Right.
It really is.
Because it's like, I know, but I'm right here. I could just take care of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, but yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's hard.
It is hard. It is hard. Well, you know, maybe that'll lead us into another song, Bradley.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Let's see what I have for that. Well,
can we segue into a appropriate song?
yeah. Let me see, you know. Yeah, why not? Let's do this one. So
I know Bradley probably came in here and he was all prepared with these certain songs on it. He probably put this set list together, and I'm completely knocking it out of the park for him.
This is my favorite way to come in and do this, is like I had the songs in my head.
Yeah.
But you know, I've got 30, 50 plus songs that I know I can play on my own.
Right.
Just off the top of my head. But
Right.
I love it. Like, my favorite part about growing up and what really attracted me to Nashville and music and songwriting were the songwriters and the stories behind the songs.
Yes.
And so when I moved up there and played in all the writers rounds where you've got like 3 or 4 songwriters sitting there just playing their songs, they're telling stories and they're talking to each other, and what they're playing next is based upon what's been going on in the round, you know.
Right.
Some people go in there with a set list of what they want to play,
Sure.
but a lot of it, you know, I feel like the really fun rounds to watch
Right.
were when they were all talking and
Yeah.
just kind of, oh, well, hey, yeah, that reminds me, I wrote this song. But
Right.
you're just talking about blessing and stuff in life. And my second single to radio that I followed up with, it didn't do nearly as much for me as Don't Mess with Texas did, but it was still a favorite song of mine. I realized, you know, at some point in Nashville, kind of that girl that I thought I was going to marry, 2014, I just was like, man, God, I want more out of life.
Yeah.
I went to Nashville, and, you know, a lot of what attracted me was fame and fortune. You
Sure,
know, at the root of all of
absolutely.
it was songwriting
Sure.
and music, but that fame and fortune stuff really kind of like
Yeah.
gets in your head, and you want that.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, it's not worth anything, you think. But I realized that the more I pursued that, the less happy I was, and I just wanted more of the good stuff. You know, more time with the girl I was with, more, you know, just more friends on a back porch drinking beer, and eating barbecue and more family, more God, more everything. And it was at a time in my life when I started realizing I wanted to get married and wanted to have a family of my own someday.
Right.
And which I think I lost sight of for a while. And so this song's called More, just about wanting more of the good stuff out of life.
Awesome.
Making up time, I'm barely making. Hammer down, throttle shaking. Lights on, I'm low on fuel, but got just enough to get to you. Been putting in the time, putting in the work, but it feels like I'm just putting dirt on my shirt. Breaking my back so my bank don't break. I'll do whatever it takes to get more cooking out on Saturdays, more barbecue on a paper plate, more beer beer in a solo cup, more time with you to drink it up. I can't get enough to tell the truth, baby. All I want is more you. Back porch sitting, just looking at you. Rock that chair the way you do. Behind the green, in your eyes, I can see the future sitting here tonight. Now I'm making plans I didn't plan on making. Praying for things I never thought I'd be praying. It's less about me, more about us, more about God, more about loving, more cooking out on Saturdays, more barbecue on a paper plate, more beer in a solo cup, more time with you to drink it up. I can't get enough to tell the truth, baby. All I want is more you. I wanna buy an old farm with an old oak tree, plant some roots and raise a family. A count of blessings on the stars at night, and a blacked out pepper spray Texas sky. More cooking out on Saturdays, more barbecue on a paper plate, more beer in a solo cup, more time with you to drink it up. I can't get enough to tell the truth, baby. All I want is more you. More you.
Wow. That was More by Bradley Banning, and you're watching Barside Jive Live. Great song, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wrote that with a buddy of mine, Colin Kerwin, who's a songwriter in Nashville.
Yeah?
From Omagh County, Tyrone, and Northern Ireland originally. Just got married there actually last week. So.
Ireland, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit away.
Yeah, Irish country singer.
Yeah, wow. So did you meet him in Nashville?
I did. I met him working for some friends of mine named Joey and Rory, who are a country duo. Mm-hmm. And they were actually the first job I had in the music business once I got out of college. And Rory's a songwriter, hit songwriter, and they had an artist career, and I was working for them, and they had a barn that Rory had built with the money that he got from a song he wrote called Some Beach that Blake Shelton had a hit with. And he had this big old barn out in the back on the farm, and it had an apartment up there. And he said, well, we got this guy coming over from Ireland that's going to be living in the barn out there in the apartment upstairs. And he's from Northern Ireland. I think y'all are going to be real good friends, probably write some songs together. And I was like, yeah, right. I don't know about this.
Yeah.
And Colin showed up that day on the farm, and he was headed out to Nashville in the bus because they were repairing the bus. And I ran up there and banged on the door. I was like, hey, man, I'm Bradley. And we had a friendship right there. And
wow.
I guess he's been in Nashville almost 10 years now. So
wow.
Yeah.
Now, how long were you in Nashville?
I was there for 10 years.
For 10 years?
Mm-hmm. Moved there in 2006.
Wow.
Left exactly 10 years. I got there August 2006, left in 2016, August 2016.
So what was your experience about the place?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Still love it. It's just not it's not home for me right now. And I ultimately moved back down to Texas because I felt called to come down here and start my artist career. And I thought that was kind of crazy to leave Nashville after 10 years and become an artist in Texas, but it was more of a God thing, man. And it panned out well, so I'm happy. And but Nashville I think it was huge for me because I saw that I pursued a dream that I had as a kid, moved there, but it's kind of a preparation time. It just prepared me to come back and pursue making music full time because I did everything in the music business almost. If I didn't do it, I got to see it regularly because I worked for management companies, labels, interned for a bunch of companies, and so I got to see everything and really know where I fit in. And ultimately, working in the business was not enough for me. I wanted to be making the music, and it showed me that, and I love the community I have up there. Everybody's so talented, and most of my friends are all still up there.
Are they?
Yeah, I've got family and great friends in Dallas-Fort Worth area where I live now, but I made some really good lifelong friends up there in Nashville.
Yeah, so it was good to you overall then, I guess.
Oh yeah, no complaints whatsoever.
Yeah. Now, you got a girlfriend here too, right?
I do, yeah.
Is that part of the reason you came back?
Not at all.
No?
No.
You met her after?
I did. I met her after. I didn't. We've only been dating about 15 months now, but I was actually, funny, Nashville, I was living here and I had just had radio success, and I was like, well, man, maybe I can go back to Nashville and do this. And I was just kind of like, I missed my creative community up there.
Right.
I told her she works at the church that I go to, and we volunteer with high school kids on Wednesday nights, and we were hanging out afterwards, a group of us, and she came up and she was like, hey, so how are you doing? And funny enough, I dated one of her friends the year before, and her best friend actually.
Oh,
and,
wow.
So we got to talking, and we were just trying to be friendly, and she goes, I told her, I was like, I'm thinking about moving back to Nashville. I just don't know. She was like, well, I think you should ask God if you've done everything you're supposed to do before you go back to Nashville. And she had no intentions of dating me. I had no intentions of dating her. And she ended up asking me if, hey, you want to go to sing Camp Gladiator and go work out sometime? And I was like, yeah. And so we started working out together just because we both wanted somebody to work out with, but we weren't really interested in each other.
Yeah.
And the more we did that, the more we started hanging out, having coffee in the morning. And then I was like, I think I'm going to ask this girl out. And so it just kind of wasn't on purpose.
Wow.
Yeah. So it just kind of happened. But no, I did not move back here.
Yeah.
For her.
15 months.
15 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's a lot better story than Room 252.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Room 252. That was quite the story. I honestly, is it a better story? Did you think it's a better story than Room 252?
No.
You don't? Yeah, Room 252 is kind of a crazy story.
No. Tell them about it.
Room 252 is it's where my granddad passed away.
Yeah.
It's Room 252 in Harris Methodist Hospital in Bedford, Texas, and I met his ICU nurse there, and that's kind of what changed the trajectory of my life, and made me start really writing and desiring to have a family again, and fell in love with that girl, and she's the one who kind of the same day I lost my job was just like, hey, we're not getting engaged anymore. We had planned on getting engaged in May 2015, and ended up kind of breaking my heart, but really spurred me into pursuing music full time.
That's true. It did lead to good things, but I just think, gosh, you lost your grandfather in that room, and that's tough because I remember when my grandfather, or both of them, passed away, and it was really tough because I was close to both, and and then having met the girl the girl in your life at the time, and then that fell apart, and the way it happened,
Yeah.
you get the little Dear John
Yeah.
note or text, or I don't know what she did, but anyway, I'm sure it was short and sweet.
No, actually, it wasn't. I got an earful.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And then
Wow.
I ended up calling her a couple
Wow.
years later, and I got an earful again.
You just kept on going back for
It
more.
was a pretty hard no. Yeah.
You need to write another song, more too.
I know, right?
Well, you're a glutton for punishment, weren't you?
I guess so.
Yeah. Well, that's it was a great song though. But
I appreciate
it
it.
just has it's kind of got mixed feelings in there.
Oh, yeah.
For me anyway.
Oh no, I agree.
But yeah.
Bittersweet thing.
Well, do you want to play them another one?
Yeah, well, shoot, I might as well play Room 252.
Might as
right?
well,
Yeah.
since we brought it
Goes
up.
right into it.
Yeah, that's right.
This is actually, I'm kind of detached from the song now, but I think it's one of my top songs that I've written as far as what it was like writing the song.
Mm-hmm. How so?
Because it formed itself. It's like one of those gift songs where it was just like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a good enough writer to have written the song. Like it just had to be given to me. And it just, I don't know. The lines just fell one after the other. I think I'd just come back from Texas or somewhere and gotten back to my place in Nashville the night that I wrote it. And, it was 2 years after the fact. Mm-hmm. And I had the idea of Room 252, and I just kind of sat down. Some friends of mine asked me if I wanted to go get a drink, and I was on my way out the door, and I had to call them and say, "Hey, sorry, I got to stay here and write." And I sat down with my guitar and just started speaking how I felt it, and what I felt about that room, and what I felt about everything that happened, and just started playing my guitar, and it just kind of fell out,
Yeah.
It's just kind of it was like a language coming out of me or something. I don't know. It was weird. It was just a lot of fun, and it was a peaceful write, I didn't feel like I was trying too hard or trying to get the words just right, and there was no pressure. It was just honest. I think honesty is I think why it was so much fun to write, because it was honest.
Does that song just kind of heal maybe some wounds that you had at that time? Does it?
I think it does, because now when I hear it or I listen to it, it's playing on radio in Dallas right now. They buddy of mine, Hondo on 99.5 The Wolf, plays it on his Sunday show, and
Right.
I'm not even pushing it to radio right now, but it just kind of it's kind of healing to hear it. My girlfriend actually now sang on it with me.
Really?
She had never heard me on the radio, but she's got a beautiful voice, and I was like, "Hey, I need a girl to put the harmonies on this. Do you want to try?"
Wow.
And so she's like, "Yeah." And so we were actually on our way out of Frozen 2. She loves Frozen.
Yeah.
We were on our way out of Frozen 2, and the DJ was like, "Hey, you got to go out there and listen to your song. Get in the car. Your song's up next." And so the first time she heard me on radio was hearing herself as well.
Wow.
So that was kind of cool. And so in a way, yeah, it's a healing song for me now.
Yeah. Well, are you guys gonna do more together?
Who knows? We'll see.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you actually record with her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I recorded her vocals on it. And,
Wow. Okay, cool.
The version on Songwriter has her on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's her name?
Kayla.
Let's shout out to Kayla. Hey, Kayla. There's your shout out from Barside Jive Live. And this is Bradley Banning right here. Room 252, Barside Jive Live.
I went out last night with some old friends. We drowned a little bourbon, caught up on the Howard Bends. And then the conversation turned and headed straight for you. And room 252. The first place we met, last place I wanted to be. I still think about it Does it still make you think about me? Sometimes I feel crazy, 'cause I still dream of you and room 252. I remember that call, come home, your granddad sick. I was on the next flight to say goodbye, afraid I wouldn't make it. You were dressed in your scrubs, like an angel in blue, standing right there in room 252. The first place we met, last place I wanted to be. I still think about it. Does it still make you think about me? Sometimes I feel crazy, 'cause I still dream of you and room 252. Now I still believe something bigger happened that day than just a man losing his life. And I know you thought that too. I saw it in the way those tears rolled off your pretty green eyes. It's like my granddad was holding on just so the two of us could meet. And I still have hope that someday you'll find your way back to me. But until you do, I think about you and room 252. The first place we met, last place I wanted to be. I still think about it. Does it still make you think about me? Sometimes I feel crazy, 'cause I still dream of you and room 252. You still think about me and you and room 252. I went out last night with some old friends. We drowned a little bourbon, caught up on the Howard Bends.
Wow. That's great.
Thank you.
Second time I've heard that song.
That's right.
I think it gets better every time you play it.
Well, I appreciate that.
Man, I know your dad's been really influential in your songwriting, but what musicians out there have really been, important to you and what you do?
I think, the name that first comes to mind is Garth Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that was my first,
Yeah.
country singer that I just loved. And
Yeah. What was it about Garth?
I really don't know. I remember there was this day my dad came home. I was kind of talking about earlier. He came home from mowing lawns, and he said, "Hey, Bradley, Garth's at the radio station," which is funny enough. It's KPLX, was KPLX at the time, which is now 99.5 The Wolf, which was the station that played my song in Dallas that got me going.
Right.
He said they're down at KPLX. Garth's down there. You want to go meet him? And I got my CDs, and he took me down there. And Garth took about 20 minutes and sat there and talked to me. They tried to kick us out because we'd been waiting around for about 30 minutes. They're like, "Hey, Garth's not coming out. Y'all got to go." And Garth walked out about that time and goes, "They can't make you leave without your CDs." And he took them and he said, "I'll be right back." And he went into the radio station, did an interview, came back out, and spent 20 minutes talking to me.
Wow.
And I think that obviously when you're a kid, that has a huge impression on you. And
yeah.
And I think, just the songs, too. I loved Friends in Low Places.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a positivity to his music. He had songs. Of course, he's a great songwriter, but he got songs that were great. And I think, I don't know, I just, like Unanswered Prayers. And I don't know, there was, I liked his song selection.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always liked artists like that who've had a great ear for songs. I think there's some guys out there that do that really well and are about the songwriter. Funny, Kenny Chesney's one of them who I think is just always picked really great songs and knows his market and his type of song, and he's great to songwriters. And you know, a lot of my heroes though were songwriters. Alan Shamlin's one of my favorite songwriters. Just him as a person. You know, I don't know him. I've met him a couple times, but just seeing him and the type of songs he's written. Who else? You know, as I got in college, one of my favorite performers of all time now is Bruce Springsteen.
Oh yeah,
and I love his writing.
Yeah,
I think, you know, I'd have to say guys like Alan Shamblin, Garth Brooks, and Bruce Springsteen, kind of all over the board. But I've got a bunch of friends that are huge, very instrumental in the way I think about songs as well. And I've just been lucky enough to have been surrounded by songwriters my whole life.
Right.
And music. But
Well, what's interesting is those two performers that you mentioned, to me, have this, because all of them don't, but they have this ability to really connect with their audience, and they have this energy that just creates this excitement, this stage presence. So yeah, they're great songwriters, and yeah, they sing really well and they play really well, but they have another component that not everybody gets.
Yeah.
And it's that energy, it's that connection, the ability to connect with every single member of the audience. You know, some people look out in the audience and you see just a sea of, you know, people in the audience, but some people look out and you actually see faces.
Yeah.
And you have eye contact with people. And like I say, some of them have it and some of them don't. You can sure tell the ones that do, but both of those guys.
They seem to really enjoy what they do.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be more than a paycheck, because that's a rough way to make a living if you really look at it. Touring.
Oh, yeah.
It's a beating, right?
Oh, yeah.
So anyhow, hey, okay, it's time for my lightning, non-lightning round, and what we do here is, the reason is usually people call it lightning round, but I call it lightning, no lightning, because it's lightning for you, because I want quick answers, but a lot of times you say stuff and it makes me curious, so I have to stop and ask you why.
I like that.
So sorry,
No.
but you know, I'm the host, so I can do what I want. All right.
Exactly.
So okay, so I'm gonna run through these real quick. There's like 10. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
All right. Favorite app?
Favorite app? Man, I don't have a favorite app. Oh man, that's
What's the most used app on your phone?
most used app. Well, probably Instagram, but I don't really like Instagram. To be honest, it's one of those social media phenomenon things. Like,
Right.
why do I
You have to
use
do it, but you don't want to really do it.
Oh, you know what? Favorite app? I do voice memo, because it allows me to keep track of all my song ideas. Yeah. There we go.
Right.
Perfect.
So, because if you don't write them or sing them or say them quick, they're gone.
Yeah. It's the best tool. The best app for songwriters, I would say.
Right. Yeah. You have an iPhone?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Zodiac sign.
I have no idea.
Really?
I don't.
Yeah. What month were you born?
November
Yeah. What day?
22nd.
22nd. Okay. All right. Favorite beverage?
Favorite beverage is Coca-Cola, probably. I love Coke and popcorn.
Do you really?
It's my favorite.
Even if you're not in the movie?
Yeah. But I go to the movies a lot because I like getting Coke and popcorn. Yeah.
Oh, they make good popcorn.
Yeah, it's not good for you, so I try to limit it. But I love Coke and popcorn.
Right. Dream car?
Dream car. Chevy Silverado.
Sasquatch or space aliens?
Ooh, space aliens.
First celebrity crush?
Britney Spears.
No, I was hoping you weren't saying Garth Brooks.
No, Britney Spears.
No, I'm just kidding you. Led Zeppelin or George Jones?
Oh, Led Zeppelin.
Really?
Yeah.
For a country singer?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's something about Robert Plant that just is crazy. I met him once.
Did you?
Him and
in
Allison
Nashville?
Krauss. Yeah. It was kind of cool.
Were they doing the Band of Joy?
It was the Allison Krauss album that he did with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you run into him?
Walgreens.
Really?
I turned the corner and I just saw Robert Plant. I was like, oh, wow. And I turned the corner. I wasn't paying attention. I ran directly into a woman and I stepped back and I go, I'm sorry. I was like, and then I realized it was Alison Krauss and I looked surprised and she just kind of smiled at me and goes, hi. And I was like, hi. And I kept walking.
So y'all didn't chat or anything?
No.
But you knew who it was?
I knew exactly who it was, yeah.
Now, who did you recognize faster, Allison or Robert?
Oh, Alison Krauss, yeah. Yeah, because I had seen her more. But,
okay.
Yeah, but I knew it took me a minute to recognize Robert Plant, but I knew.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I saw Alison Krauss, I was like, yeah, it's Robert Plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You just never know.
Yeah.
Especially in places like Nashville.
Yeah.
Or Austin.
Oh, yeah.
You never know.
I mean, but I will say that doesn't take away from George Jones.
Right.
But who am I more likely to listen to?
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin. Yeah.
Favorite Zeppelin tune?
Oh, that's hard. That's really hard because I can't play any Zeppelin tunes.
You can't play any?
No, he's just too like vocally out there for me. I haven't made any that like really fit me, I guess.
Really?
But my favorite is it's gonna sound so bad because every time I think of it, I think of Madagascar the movie, but it's the first Zeppelin song I ever heard.
Immigration Song?
No, not Immigration Song, but I do love that, and that reminds me of Shrek, the movie. But no, what is it? It's a place. It's a place. It's a place. Zeppelin song.
Misty Mountain?
No. Hold on. It's going to come back to me. Lightning round, next one, I'll come back.
Okay, we'll come back. Okay, so favorite recipe?
Favorite recipe.
You cook?
I do, yeah. But my favorite recipe is simple. They're called chicken rolls. They're just chicken and cheese wrapped up in crescent rolls. Put in a pan with cream of mushroom and cheese sprinkled all over the top of it, and you bake them, and they're amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Will you send that recipe to me so I can put you in my cookbook?
Absolutely.
Okay, love to. Yeah, we're gonna have a Barside Jive cookbook.
I love that.
Serious.
I love that.
Serious. It's just I thought of it the other day, so I'll put one in there from you. Okay, pizza and beer or steak and wine?
Oh man, that's hard because it depends on what mood I'm in. Pizza and beer more often than not, probably. Yeah.
Okay. What was Kayla say?
Steak and wine. Yeah.
Would she?
Yeah.
Okay. Most obnoxious habit?
Worry.
Yeah.
Perfectionism. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that goes for all of us. All right, man. You did pretty good. On that, except that Zeppelin tune. Hey, tell me. But I do appreciate the fact you dig some Zeppelin because that's my favorite
Is
band
it really?
ever. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, you want to play another?
Yeah, I just can't remember. Hold on, it's what is the step up from that? Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Cashmere. Thank you. I always want to say Madagascar, but it's not Madagascar.
Yeah.
And then Immigration Song reminds me of Shrek. You've seen that part. Have you seen that?
No.
Where I think
I've seen Shrek, but which one?
I don't know. It's the one where Snow White is like calling all the animals to go and attack, and they start playing Immigration Song.
The reason I've seen Shrek is because I've raised kids, and so whether I wanted to go or not, actually, it's pretty much the same story in my whole life. Is that I never want to go. I don't care. I don't want to go. I'm like, you tell me, let's go. I'm like, I don't want to go. But if I'll get there, I have a great time.
Yeah.
And everybody always goes, you had such a great time and you didn't even want to go. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I didn't want to go, but I did have fun.
Yeah.
But it's like, I always have fun, but I'd never want to go.
Yeah.
So it's like those movies. I never wanted to go, but most of them.
Yeah.
I got something out of it or really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
So I think they're making them for all audiences. It's not just for kids; they're for adults too. You know what I mean? Those movies, they don't make them just for.
Question 11 is my guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure is Disney Pixar movies.
Really?
Love going to those. They're just so happy.
Oh, they are.
If you're a songwriter and you're in your head all the time, they help you get out.
Yeah. Now see, I'm I go watch Die Hard.
Oh yeah.
When I want to get out of what I mean, I go watch Die Hard because it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I'd say Death Wish, but you're probably too young to remember Death Wish.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
Charles.
think.
Ask your dad would know about Death Wish, Charles Bronson. But
Okay.
But anyway, what are you gonna play this time?
Is this my last song, or is this not?
This is the last one until we close.
Okay. Well, I might as well play the song that started it all for me as an artist.
Okay.
Don't Mess with Texas.
There you go. There you go.
You don't drive across Texas on a single tank of gas. You don't leave the Lone Star State without wishing you were back. You don't go through San Antonio and forget the Alamo. You don't pick blue bonnets off the side of the road. You hold on to your license plates, hang 'em on the wall. You dance every chance you get with your girl at Green Hall. You take some time, spend the night down in Fredericksburg. You don't mess with Texas. You love her. You don't live in Austin if you ain't a little weird. You don't float the Guadalupe without a tube for the beer. You don't sing a Willie song if you can't sing it right. You don't touch your cowboy's hat if you don't want to fight. You hold on to your license plates, hang 'em on the wall. You dance every chance you get with your girl at Green Hall. You take some time, spend a night down in Fredericksburg. You don't mess with Texas. You love her. Yeah, you love her. You don't leave a girl in Fort Worth and head to Tennessee and not tell her that you love her, 'cause if you did, you'd be me. You hold on to your license plates and hang 'em on the wall. You dance every chance you get with your girl at Green Hall. You take some time, spend a night down in Fredericksburg, where you don't mess with Texas. You love her. Yeah, you love her.
Woo!
Right. I forgot
Man.
the words halfway through that because I was sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, so you got me thinking with Led Zeppelin, because there was, when I started trying to record stuff,
Yeah.
The guy who built my buddy's studio that I did overdubs and stuff
Yeah.
in worked with Zeppelin on a couple of records.
Oh, okay.
And so I was learning how to record then, and
Right.
I was trying to think what song was it that I really remember that they were talking about. They just used overheads on the drums, and I think actually a lot of the drums on a lot of their albums were recorded this way. But I remember it fascinated me because they, now there's like so many mics that you have on a drum set.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
A kit when you're recording, and they just used overheads on a lot of those.
Right.
And when the levee breaks, I think is what I was thinking of. And then I realized I laughed in the middle of that song because I was like, oh man, that was my ex's, the Room 252 girl's favorite song. It was her.
With the levee breaks?
Yeah, it
Really?
was her walk-up song in softball when she was in high school.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
Wow.
so yeah.
Interesting.
Sorry, I laughed in the middle of that.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Hey, can you tell folks how to follow your schedule, where the best place to go is?
Yeah, BradleyBanning.com, my name.
BradleyBanning.com.
And then always please follow me on social media. Facebook and Instagram is what I use the most. But I don't have much to say on Twitter. I've never got the hang of it. You know? My dad's better at Twitter than I am.
I am just now kind of getting into it. So
yeah,
it's it's like dragging me through the mud. It's like, God, not another, because
there's
Facebook,
so many of them.
Yeah, and then Instagram is like, and then I want to puke, and then Twitter, and it's like, God.
Yeah.
If I ever have enough money to hire somebody, or if you want to be my intern, you can come do my social media for me.
Yeah.
Because it's necessary evil.
Yeah.
So BradleyBanning.com.
BradleyBanning.com.
All right. Brad, it's been awesome having you.
Thanks for having me. This
awesome.
was fun.
Oh, I've had a blast, man. I knew I'd have a blast when you were coming down the hall, but yeah, I always enjoy seeing you and gosh, wish you all the best. And
so much.
I love that you're a believer, and I think that's just that's why you've been so blessed, and I love that you share your faith, and it's cool stuff, man. Cool stuff.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Besides my Tuesday and Thursday 7:30 p.m. shows right here at the Vocal Studios featuring musicians and visual artists, don't forget my show in the Dallas Design District on Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. 1523 Dragon Street featuring singer-songwriters and those visual artists. Got some cool stuff there now, guys. You need to check it out. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Barside Jive Live, where I archive all my stuff. Remember that VocalNow.com is home to the zoo as well as Barside Jive. So download the Vocal Now app, and remember it's spelled, it's vocal with a K. Vocal Now app from your app store. You can watch all my content and listen to the zoo. If you create music or some other form of art and would like to be featured on one of my shows, or you would like to sponsor or advertise on one of my shows, or maybe you just have an idea, maybe a comment, shoot me an email, dc@barsidejive.com. My show today has also been brought to you by Hip and Hippie. Hip and Hippie is a planet-loving company known for its high-quality, earth-friendly, 100% recyclable candle line and natural body care products. It's no wonder eco-supporting people love Hip and Hippie, hipandhippie.com. I'd like to thank Jay and Jimmy, our production team, for the hard work they do behind the scenes. And guys, we are out of here. Thanks again for hanging out with us this evening. We appreciate your support of what we do here and hope that you'll share us with your friends, your family, your followers. Now remember to be kind to one another each and every day. Be a hero in someone's life. And until next time, keep it real and keep on rocking. One more time from Bradley Banning right here on Barside Jive Live.
I held the door and tipped my hat. She said I didn't know cowboys still did that. Said I'm not trying to brag, but I'm a Texan. We say yes sir and thank you ma'am, and keep a word when we shake your hand. It's just the way we're raised, I reckon I'm a Texan. It ain't just a state, it's a state of mind. Hey, there's nothing wrong with the other 49, but you can bet your boots that when I hang up my Stetson, yeah, I thank God I'm a Texan. We say yes sir and thank you ma'am, keep a word when we shake your hand. It's just the way we're raised, I reckon I'm a Texan. We won't go looking for a fight, but we'll stand up for what's right. There ain't no sense in messing with a Texan. It ain't just a state, it's a state of mind. Hey, there's nothing wrong with the other 49. But you can bet your boots that when I hang up my Stetson, yeah, I thank God I'm a Texan. Now we two-stepped to a steel guitar underneath that old Lone Star, and that girl found herself deep in the heart of a Texan. It ain't just a state, it's a state of mind. Hey, there's nothing wrong with the other 49, but you can bet your boots that when I hang up my Stetson, yeah, I thank God I'm a Texan. Yeah, I thank God I'm a Texan.
Have mercy.
Great job, Bradley.
Is that supposed to be Billy Gibbons?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
BarsideJiveLive.com.
That's BarsideJiveLive.com.
The zoo gives you rock for the senses.